Welcome back, vintage Sega Genesis gamers. We are returning the Rocket Rabbit Commentaries crew to the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection. And now for the third and final installment of the numbered Sonic the Hedgehog games, released in 1994, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
So, how much of the instruction manual is kept in this museum's history?
That is a good question. If only I had deigned to search for the original instruction manual for the game, because my actual cartridge version of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 did come with an instruction manual that also went over, as the lore is pointing out here, that there are named enemies, there are explanations for what is a goal continue ring, what is a TV screen that gives you abilities like in the previous Sonic the Hedgehog games, and of course, what is a bonus stage.
And that Sonic 3 was originally going to be composed by Michael Jackson.
So see, there you go. All those YouTubers you've been listening to over the years were actually accurate. That Michael Jackson was considered to be a composer for the game, and some may conjecture that's why they went with the song choices and stylizations for some of the levels.
I believe it's Cool Edge specifically that ends up sounding the most like a Michael Jackson piece. I noticed, however, that the controller layout didn't actually mention the double spin attack.
Oh, you'll figure out the double spin shortly, especially if you've been playing your Sonic the Hedgehog games 1, 2, and 3. Sonic 1, Sonic couldn't spin, but he could roll. Sonic 2, Sonic the Hedgehog now has the ability to spin. And in the subject of new abilities, Sonic 3 is the first of the Sonic franchise that allows you to save game data.
So immediately after the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we find ourselves over on Emerald Island.
When all of a sudden...
And Knuckles is the most powerful character in the franchise.
The Guardian of the Chaos Emeralds shows his fortitude by knocking the Chaos Emeralds back out of us. Talk about showing the problem and how we can solve it. With our ability to jump, run, and have a good time. Knuckles has made off with all the Chaos Emeralds, but in order to get them back, we'll have to gather together 50 rings. Actually, no, that is not correct. That was a thing in Sonic 2. That is all you have to do.
In Sonic 3, in order to find the special rings, they are located randomly throughout levels.
Ah, yes, the Get Blue Spheres bonus game.
And by randomly, I mean they're in set locations, but you have to actually find them.
And they are well hidden.
They are well hidden, to the point where I've not actually played all that much of Sonic 3, but whenever I believe it was Sonic Mania that brought back this particular design, came around, I had a relatively difficult time actually getting a majority of the special rings in order to unlock Super Sonic. But that wasn't one of my bigger issues with Sonic Mania, to be perfectly honest. My bigger issue with Sonic Mania is that I'm very bad at it.
Well, Sonic Mania is just, in general, one of the harder games based on the classic Sonic the Hedgehog game formula. Hence, I've never actually beaten Sonic Mania.
I beat Sonic Generations. Does that count?
Kind of. We got a perfect.
Yes, and that gives us an additional continue. Actually, it's not the perfect that gives us a continue. It's getting a certain amount of rings gives you the extra continue, right?
50 rings to be precise. Getting the perfect allows you to gain 50,000 points, and every 50,000 points that you score in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, well, that is the first 50,000 points you get. It will make the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Got Life jingle go off. We did get a continue because we got at least 50 rings inside of a bonus stage, and each bonus stage does have at least 50 rings in it. Now we must collect another 100,000 points to begin really boning up on that life counter, and thanks to the save system, the lives that you gather do not... actually, no, that's not correct. The game, as cool as it is that you get to save your game data, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 does not remember how many lives you had at the moment when you once you turn the game off. That is, unless you use save states in Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection. That is the only way you can really save your lives. But if you're using save states, basically defeats the purpose of even having a save system built into the game itself in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, if you do want to...
So, are you pushing this rock the wrong way?
No, it's the right way. Oh, how can I forget all the little secret nooks and crannies in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the first level, Angel Island Zone.
Angel Island does actually have a lot of relatively interesting things happening in it. This being one of them. Instead of fighting Dr. Robotnik at the end of each act, we end up fighting one of his more important machines, and then a level transition happens.
That's correct. There are a total of 2 acts in each level of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and there are 6 of them. At the end of each of the first acts of each level, you run into one of Dr. Robotnik's more powerful robots. And then, at the end of Act 2, you fight Dr. Robotnik himself. Welcome to the slot. Welcome to the pin. Is it a pinball machine? No, not pinball. That is the bumper gumball. Yeah, bumper gumballs. And there is one other type of bonus variety, and the bonus varieties are unlocked when you go through a goalpost when you're holding at least 25 rings. And apparently, I had made I made the bonus ring glitch out.
Wow, I did not know that you could do that. Huh.
Now, is there a remedy to when the bonus ring glitches out is the question. Or do we just cut our losses? Well,
I'm pretty sure we just end up having to cut our losses. Or, in theory, if you get far enough away from it, it might be able to respawn, but...
And we did also just gain a life for accumulating 100
scoring
rings.
Another 50 rings.
Hell yeah, another 50 rings. Well, I tell you, if I did the prudent thing and set up a save state as soon as I entered this second portion of Angel Island Zone Act 2, after Dr. Robotnik's mini-boss robot had set the island ablaze, we would have infinite retries at getting the bonus ring because we're playing on Sonic Ultimate Genesis, which enables save states.
Right.
One of many useful functions of getting save states enabled in your game.
So you are taking advantage of the elemental shield special attacks, which is nice. I do have a question though. Do you know how? Are you actually proficient in using the double spin attack?
What is the double spin attack? That's the second time you've mentioned that.
The double spin attack is an attack that Sonic gets while he does not have an elemental shield. That while he is in the air, he is allowed to actually do a forward energy attack, just slightly forward of his position. It has been commonly referred to by other YouTubers as the Insta Shield.
The Insta Shield is available in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. However, I've been playing this game since I was like 5 years old. A lot of the habits that I employ in this game largely predicates on the habits I was using when I was a kid. Insta Shield was definitely not one of them. It is cool. It gives you a brief moment of invincibility for every frame that Sonic is applying the Insta Shield. So, for example, if an enemy is using a projectile attack, you could protect yourself from it. I just never got good at using that.
I don't think it works against projectile attacks. I know it's effectively an extension on his melee attack, but...
Well, for goodness sake, if it's a shield, why can't it protect Sonic?
It's just called the instant shield, though. I don't think it actually protects you at all. I'm pretty sure it's just an extension of offense.
Well, all the shields in this game will allow Sonic to take damage without losing rings first. It's the first line of defense. Second line of defense is rings, and then, just like in Sonic the Hedgehog's 1 and 2, if Sonic gets hit and he doesn't have any rings, he dies. You lose a life and you have to start either from the beginning of the level or the most recently accessed checkpoint goalpost. We got this.
So this is getting to be somewhat nauseating going this fast.
Yeah, it's good that you point that out, my fellow commentator, Mr. Gurdet. The bonus stages will get increasingly difficult to finish because Sonic never stops accelerating, and he will continue to accelerate as long as you're still hunting down the blue spheres. Because if you touch a red sphere, you get knocked out of the bonus stage, and you do not get the Chaos Emerald.
Right.
Every bonus stage in the classic Sonic games has a fail state in it, and that's the fail state in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. You're going to be really on your toes to jump over those red spheres at times, and even have to go in between bumper balls to achieve it all.
Okay. No, past Cloud, you have to go down there.
Yeah, I went a little too fast. Let's try that again. Okay, it sends me down this way again, hit the wall, and then go back down through here. So that bonus ring specifically is a gimme. Perhaps that may well be the first bonus ring that you actually find. It's a game's way of letting you know, hey, you should try finding these bonus rings because cool things happen when you go through them.
All right. Another interesting thing about the elemental shields is that they can actually be deleted by stage hazards. Specifically, the fire shield gets immediately deleted by Sonic being fully submerged in water.
So it is true with the lightning shield that the bubble shield is the only shield that not only does not dissipate in water, the bubble shield gives you protection from drowning.
Now, is the neutral shield available in this game? I always forget.
No, and that's an interesting point. Sonic the Hedgehog's 1 and 2, there was the basic shield. It was the only type of shield you could get in the first 3 installments of Sonic. In this game, each of the shields serves a similar enough purpose to the neutral shield that they just did away with the neutral shield completely. Each of the shields will take a hit for you, and in addition to being able to take a hit for you, it has other fun properties. You get
the bubble shield allows you to do a bubble bounce, the fire shield allows you to do a fire dash, and the electric shield gives you a double jump.
Double jump and also magnetism that will allow you to draw nearby rings and also cause your screen to start spazzing out if you start going so fast that the game can't use its magnet to get the rings to Sonic.
It also will allow you to magnetize to specific surfaces, which we will see in a later part.
That actually is not true. You cannot magnetize to surfaces using the lightning shield.
Really? I thought that was a primary gimmick for Sky Fortress.
You might be thinking of Flying Battery Zone, which is found in Sonic and Knuckles. There is. Oh, wait. It does. The lightning shield also has the effect of protecting you from electrical source attacks, which you find in Death Egg Zone. Death Egg Zone also is only in Sonic and Knuckles, where the game continues to elaborate on the properties of the shields and also really hammer in the reward. If you combine your Sonic the Hedgehog 3 game cartridge with your Sonic and Knuckles cartridge,
you get the actual complete experience of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that experience is not found in the Sonic Ultimate Genesis collection. You can only ever play Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic 3. You cannot get the combined experience, you cannot get the Hyper Emeralds, and you cannot get the Super Emeralds, and you cannot unlock Hypersonic. The GameCube Sonic Genesis compilation let you get it, but not the 360 one. Right? Not Gems Collection. It was another one, and I had a lot of fun with that one. That one, it listed Sonic 3 and Knuckles as its own separate game.
Well, I mean, that is definitely how the games were supposed to be shipped. It's just that they weren't done making Sonic 3 yet before Sonic and Knuckles was done, and they wanted to try and sell additional hardware, so the story goes.
Yes, the story behind the game. Oh, I am pleased that was a feature of Sonic 3 that had eluded me for the longest time, because I was wondering as a kid, like, why is the Sonic 3 game cartridge shaped like an ordinary Sega Genesis cartridge, and then why is the Sonic and Knuckles game cartridge looking like it is its own game system in itself?
It's because of lock-on technology that never got used for anything else.
For nothing else, yeah. I mean, for goodness sake, I'm sure many people bought a Sega Genesis just so they could play Sonic the Hedgehog.
Kinda, sorta. I mean, the Genesis itself was a bit late on the scene.
Thank you for grabbing the one up.
The gumballs that Tails gets, do those actually count as collected?
The rings and the one-ups count. It's a good question about the shields, though. The black bumpers will just knock you away. The bubble balls will just disappear when you touch them. Considered dead. Really takes me back to the good old days. Really, as soon as I hear the boot-up jingle for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I am reminded that at some point I am going to have to push forward on my control pad and do nothing else, because these bombs cannot catch you as long as Sonic is running at full speed. There's many of the things that you anticipate.
But you also have the fire shield, so I think you're actually resistant to these explosions.
You are not.
Oh, okay.
Happy to clarify for you. Dr. Robotnik is approaching. Oh, here comes my favorite boss theme. It's a boss theme that's so cool.
Oh, come on. You could fire dash into him again.
I mean, I could. Could try. I could die.
Yeah, the elemental shields tend to make a majority of the Eggman fights a total cakewalk, especially the electric shield, but...
Yep, you will find in many of both the mini-boss encounters and Dr. Robotnik encounters that having an elemental shield, the correct one, will allow you to defeat the boss more consistently. And in the next part...
And in the next episode, we're going into Not Chemical Plant, right?
We're going through the Hydrocity. Welcome.